Hello, hello. Welcome in, Million Dollar Babes. Let me know that you are here and you're live. And today we're starting day one of my new series called Cash in Your Abundance. And today's topic is how to upgrade your problems into profits. So we're talking money, we're talking alchemy, we're talking alignment. And I'll give you guys a chance to hop on and let me know that you're here. And when it comes to alchemy and when it comes to upgrading your problems, what comes to mind? What are the first things that come to your mind when I say those words? I'm really curious on this because that is something that I am really passionate about upgrading your problems, because all of us always have the option to sit here and compare our problems up, right? Like you could have a private jet and someone can have a bigger private jet than you, right? You can have 20 cars and someone else can have 30 cars. So there's always going to be someone else that is above you that has a different set of problems, but you see only their profits, right? So this whole concept of upgrade your problems was something that I really started practicing in 2017, where I was practicing it before that, but 2017 was where I started practicing it intentionally. Right? Like tapping into the fact that, you know what? Yeah, I have some problems. And if I look up, it will seem like I have the worst problems. But if I look down, there's like so much, there's going to be so many people that I would have to get through to even get to the bottom of that pit of problems. So I decided that I was going to choose bigger and better problems. Look, the human brain is always going to have problems. That's what it's designed to do. But it's like, okay, how can I upgrade my problems and have better problems? So I started teaching this method of like, okay, if you look at the fact that my husband's not paying attention to me or my husband's not making enough money, that's one problem. How can you upgrade that problem? It's like, okay, well, how can I fill up my own cup? How can I be the one that manifests money from maybe different sources? How can I have a better problem, right? Something that's worthy of me. So someone who is maybe waiting for a provider man, while you're waiting, can you build a freaking empire? Like, can you start turning your passions into profit? So that's what that concept means to me. Let me see what you guys are saying. Welcome in. Hi. Let me make you guys larger so I can, oops, what did I just do? Make the chat larger. Alchemy, transforming something of the same value. Beautiful. It's funny, I was watching your other video that was uploaded on other channel and almost midway through it cut out. Yeah, I put it, as I said in the beginning, that was not meant for YouTube. It was meant for a program. So it's meant to be in there. Alchemy is magic and using your mind to attract whatever you want. Yes, yes. It's more fun that way anyways, right? Like if you really think about it, there's so many transformation stories out there. There's so many abundance stories out there. There's so many rags to riches stories out there. But notice that the ones that we gravitate towards are the ones where the person started off with nothing, right? It's like, because that's more fun. If you're playing a video game and like all the things were stacked in your favor and then you win, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I was supposed to win, right? And it's like, it was an easy win. But what if everything is not stacked in your favor, right? What if you were born to the wrong parents and the wrong city, you have the wrong looks and the wrong name and the wrong everything, and you did it despite that? That's alchemy to me, because that's more fun. It's more interesting anyways. You wouldn't value it the same way, right? And to me, like I wouldn't go back and trade off any of even the worst possible things that happened to me. Most of you guys know my story. You know what I've had to alchemize, but I wouldn't take that away, because who's to say that if none of that stuff happened to me, that I wouldn't be where I am. And my life is so divinely created, so divinely manifested, that I wouldn't go back and change any of that. So alchemy is the best way, right? I was just about to do an oracle card reading for November, and then I saw you live. Let's do one together. I'm going to go get my deck. We'll do one together. So, Sarah, it's funny that you asked. She said, which course do you recommend to be able to quit my job and pursue the creation of my own business? I have a provider husband that covers my basic expenses, but work to afford my lifestyle. So I'm actually doing this series to launch my Rich Girl Manifestation Bundle. I have never bundled 6 of my highly potent and powerful. These are 6 of my most potent manifestation and spiritual business courses. And it's bundled, it's $17.75 off of the bundle prices of all of them. And here's why it's really amazing, because it takes you from any place in your journey. So I have my Divine Feminine business course. That was the first business course I created that takes you from like nothing to like, what the hell should I do, to like a business in a box, right? It's like everything. Then I also have my CEO Boss Babe in there, which has all of those high priestess, alchemizing, transformation, spiritual manifestation techniques that are going to take you beyond the boring, masculine hustle business techniques that people teach. Because I think most people in the business and manifestation realm miss the fact that you cannot create with just the sperm or just the egg. Like you need both the feminine and the masculine principles to create. And so either they'll give you just the airy, fairy, fluffy, or they'll give you just the hustle, like, you know, go out there on all platform and like post every day and all that stuff. But it's like, where do these two things collide? Where do they actually, you know, manifest in one being? That's what it is. Okay. And so I'm really excited about this bundle. It's only going to be active for the next 3 days. So it will expire Saturday night. And I'm adding three 90-minute sessions of Q&A in this bundle. Like it's just so much. You can spend a whole year just using those techniques and building your business. There's a course creation program in there, how to create a program when you don't know where to start or what to do. So it's got everything in there for you. So I've linked it in the description box as well. Interesting perspective, Mina. Appreciate to be with you live. Same here, babe. Same here. Thank you for being here, Mina. My appreciation from the Netherlands. Met my fiance after just watching your channel 1 week. Ready for money teaching. Oh my goodness. Congratulations, babe. I just posted a similar testimonial on my other channel. A woman just emailed me today. She started watching me earlier this year and she just did her honeymoon in Cancun. I mean, this is the power of feminine alchemy. Do you guys see that? And there is nothing that I have that you don't have. You have all the bits and pieces and the parts and the alchemy and the divine feminine. It's just about activating it. It's just about tapping into it. It's just about facing it. And I honestly believe that women are so afraid of their power. And so they like live dormant. They're afraid of this process of alchemy, of like the magic and the gold and the glitter and the sparkle that they're ready to create. There's a fear there, right? You inspired me so much recently. I finally made the bold move to quit IG and solely focus on building my business on YouTube. I love YouTube. YouTube is amazing. It's scary AF, and I'm trying to release the how it's going to work. You have no choice but to release the how, right? I was sharing the story in the money course recently, for those of you guys that were in it with me, that if you had met me when I was 5 or 10 years old and you told me, Mina, one day you're going to be married to this man and have this beautiful life and this house and these kids and this money and this business. And if I sat there worried about how, well, there was no how. There was no how because there was no desire yet. And because the desire activated, God had to create the internet. God had to create cell phones. God had to create the webcam. God had to create the internet. So if I sat there trying to figure out how can I think of a how when the internet doesn't even exist yet? So you have to remember that your desires create worlds. So if you're sitting there trying to create the world before the desire, like I wouldn't have been like, well, someone create the damn internet because Mina has to go on YouTube. I didn't know the word internet. It did not exist in my field. Can you tap into that? So the how is the most fruitless exercise. It's the most useless thing on the planet because that thing probably doesn't even exist yet, right? You don't have to worry about God's unlimited power. Like the universe knows what it needs to do. It's following your orders. Like, where's the desire? Let it bubble up, own the thing. But we get so caught up. We jump from head to how instead of heart to desire, right? That's where you need to be. Do you think your $1 Million Manifesting Babes course would be a good start to manifesting, affording your newest bundle? Absolutely. And Sarah and all the other people, if you guys have any of the other courses from this bundle already and you want to upgrade, email my team and they will give you, with my courses, you never lose money, right? Like if you buy a course and then you see that it's part of another bundle, email us and we will apply what you've already paid to that bundle. Oh my God, that's amazing, Cher. It seems like the universe is speaking to you loud. Your vibe gives me a gut check. How amazing is that? You're my guide from the universe. You help me realign like GPS, Mina. I love it, babe. I love it. You know, I was just thinking about that today. We were driving to lunch and I swear, like this was a 45-minute drive. We were driving to my kid's favorite restaurant and we're all 5 of us are in the car, but I swear it was like the universe was flirting with me the entire way there. I kept seeing things and we've taken this route many times. I've never seen these numbers. I've never seen these billboards. I've never seen these addresses. Like it was just crazy. And like at one point I almost started laughing out loud and I'm like, you are flirting, like you're heavy flirting with me right now. Things were showing up, numbers were showing up, signs were showing up. They're always there. We can only see them when we're in alignment. We can only see them when we're not in our head and we're in our heart. That's the thing. Right? Yes, when you are doing lives, it's very sensible to feel you aren't afraid of being so powerful. That's like an alchemical transition from you to us. So grateful. Beautiful, babe. I'm so happy. You have all of those things, right? And so what do I mean by cashing in your abundance? What do I mean by that? I'll go grab I have a whole collection of Oracle decks. So I'm going to have to see which one I go run and get for you guys. And maybe we can pull a card and see what comes up for us. But the cashing in your abundance is that no matter where you are, if you look up, it will seem like you're down. And if you look down, you will seem like you're up. So cashing in your abundance literally means taking real inventory by looking down and saying, oh my God, I may not have much, but I have eyes, I have fingers, I have a keyboard, I have a phone, right? I have internet access. Well, this is the abundance that's available to me now. And if this is all I had, because remember I said in the beginning, it's way more fun to play a video game where there's some challenges. And so if this is all I have, how can I alchemize this? How can I take this and take it to the next level? Like, how can I cash in that abundance, right? So when I started my YouTube channel, my daughter was just reminding me yesterday that in January, it's going to be 12 years. All I had, right? We didn't have the kind of iPhones that we have now. Go back 12 years. We didn't have this technology. I think I had a flip phone, right? I didn't even know if it had a camera on it. I don't remember, but I had this Sony $100 like camera that someone had gifted me to take like family pictures with when I had gotten married. That's what I had, right? And so I used that and I didn't have any ideas at that time. I just knew that it was in my heart to start a YouTube channel. And I said, okay, well, what can I film? And so I had just went to Victoria's Secret and gotten some pink stuff. Remember the pink loungewear we all used to wear? So I was like, well, I have this camera and I have this bag of Victoria's Secret loungewear. I literally propped up that camera on a stack of books and I filmed myself showing everyone the Victoria's Secret pink loungewear. That was my first video. right? So I could have sat there and said, well, other people have this lighting and other people have this. I didn't look at what I didn't have. I looked at, well, what do I have, right? It's just like, a woman in a village, right? Like she can go to someone else's kitchen and admire everything and say, well, I don't have this potware and this cookware and I don't have these ingredients. Or she can just go back to her kitchen and look at what she does have and figure out what she can make to feed the kids, right? Like we all have that option. And I'm here to tell you that it is so much more fun to create with the challenge. That's why we like video games. That's why we like those stories that are those rags to riches, because that's fun. That's alchemy, right? That's transformation, right? How would it feel if I came to you and I told you that I was born to the richest family on the planet, and then I used my father's name to create this business? Like, how does that feel versus knowing my actual story and then seeing what I've created, right? Like, we all have the option to go into the worst case scenario and look at what we don't have and see what we can't create from that. But that's not cashing in your abundance. That's cashing in your poverty, right? That there's nothing there. Let me see what you guys are saying. I realize that how is the last thing we need to be thinking about. Conceive a desire, follow inspired action. Yes. It's not our job to do the behind the scenes work when we are the main character. And I don't know, like, yes, I completely agree with that. And even if we wanted to, we can't. Because like I was telling you 10 years ago, or when I was 10, not 10 years ago, I'm turning 41 next month. So that was like 30 years ago. The internet did not exist. Cell phones did not exist. Webcams, I don't know if they existed, but I didn't know about them. So if I was sitting down trying to figure out how I was going to become the universe guru, what would have came up? Nothing. Right? So it's the thing that you are trying to hurt your head thinking about, it hasn't been created yet. It will be created with your desire. Okay. Thank you, Mina. I've been outgrowing the whole working to build someone else's business, but have expenses to pay, so can't quit right away. Thank you so much for your guidance. Absolutely, Sarah. And you don't need to quit right away, right? Some people can quit right away and build the business, and that's their manifestation technique. Some people, like, I know that the kind of person that I am, like, I would feel better if I had a little bit of, at the time that I was a single mom, I'm like tapping into that energy. If I had a backup, like little thing, right? So you want to have 2 to 3 months expenses sitting in the bank, because I create more from the feeling of abundance. Now, my mom used to create, she had a different manifestation style. She used to create from the feeling of scarcity. So she would let herself completely deplete her bank account, and then she would create. That tired her out. It exhausted her. It burned her out. She got cancer and passed away. You guys know my story, right? But I've learned that it's like asking, Abraham Hicks uses the word vortex, right? So you ask for money from the vortex to pay the vortex, right? I was having this conversation with a client a few months ago, and she was talking about having this large loan and how she was going to pay it off. And it was like, it was there, right? And so I said, so the way that I'm seeing this is that when you didn't have money to get this education, you asked the vortex for money and this loan showed up. So you manifested the money to get the education. So if you want to now pay this off, you have to go back to the vortex. You have to go back and ask that vortex to pay itself off. You don't have to suddenly say, well, thanks for having my back when I needed it, but now I feel abandoned and now I must pay you back and come up with this money. No, ask for more money to pay itself back. Like, it's self-generating, it's regenerating. That's the exact example of manifestation, right? So yes, I wonder if what my mother was, I'm not sure. I have a feeling that she was probably a generator, but I'm very curious. I'll never find out, because all the people that would have known are not here anymore. I realized, yeah, I think I read that already. Okay, so any other questions about what I mean by upgrading your problems into profit and cashing in your abundance, right? So what are the things that you do have, right? What make a list. What are the things that you have overcome? Start from 5, right? Because a lot of women will say, well, I don't have anything. Well, I don't know anything. And it's like, okay, did you learn to tie your shoelaces? Well, yes. Okay, well, write that down, right? And before you know it, they've got like 3 pages of a list of all the things that they have done that they had forgotten, right? Then the next step is go back and circle the things that other people may be struggling with that you have overcome. Whether it was a divorce, lots of people need help through divorces, right? Whether it was the fact that you maybe lost weight, or maybe you quit your job and started a business, or maybe you had a business and then it failed and then you started a more profitable business. Maybe you had difficulties with your kids that you overcame. Maybe you had a relationship that wasn't that great and then you improved on it. We all have things that we have overcome, and there are other human beings on this planet that are dealing with those exact same problems, and they need our help in those areas. But we forget, we think it has to be some grand thing, some big thing. And that thing may be grand and big later on, but right now, how can you cash in the abundance that you have today without having to read another book, without having to go out and like fix yourself or like get another degree? How can you cash in on something today? Okay, how can you do that? Mina, could you please speak on quantum leap manifestation? I do have a technique for that. It's in the Millionaire's Play Shop. It's a 4-step manifestation technique. And the thing with quantum leaping that you must remember is the word quantum means small. Because I think that we have this very masculine way of thinking now and very masculine way of manifesting where we think quantum means big. Quantum does not mean big. The word quantum comes from the word quanta. It means small, tiny. So we must go in the depth, in the cellular level, like depth, to go wide. We can't just like ignore everything here and jump off big. It just does not work that way for the feminine. It actually does not work that way for anyone, but especially for the feminine, because that's just not how our hormones and our being and our energy is designed. So I do have a very potent, powerful technique. And the Millionaire's Play Shop, by the way, is a part of the Rich Girl Manifestation Bundle. So this bundle, ladies, again, will be only active for 3 days. I'm launching, it's like 6 of my most potent, powerful manifestation and spiritual business entrepreneur courses bundled in one bundle, and it's $17.75 off. Hi, Body. Yes, it's been a while. We've been traveling. October is our anniversary month, and it's also my oldest son's birthday. So we have been massively in party mode. I took so much footage of our vacation and different things. I just have to like put it together. And I also have a question for you guys. I often do fun things and like buy things or go on vacations and things, and I always feel awkward about posting that stuff. I don't know why, especially on my other channel, but I feel like on here, you guys are here for the rich girl energy, the rich girl lifestyle. Like, how would you feel if I put unboxings or like you guys want to see that stuff, or like our resort visits and travel and things like that? Okay. Let me see. Cashing in your abundance. I'm a huge manifester and been told this by my family. So how to hold better control of it. So how to hold better control, what's coming up for me is crystalline clarity. When you don't know what you really want, and I think this is a huge problem these days for women because we are so pulled in many different directions. There's manifestations that are like the truest depth of our heart. And then we have all of these things that we should do. And I think it's always the should do that like screws us over. It should be like this. I should do. So the term that's coming up for me, Sarah, as you're saying that, and I'm tapping into the energy, it's like ambition versus expectation, or like alignment versus expectation. Does that mean anything to you, right? So alignment or ambition is, wouldn't it be nice? Like what feels good? That's going to be so fun. Versus expectation is, I should do this because X, Y, Z, right? I feel it's inspiring to see those things. Okay, good. Okay. Because I feel like sometimes, like, especially on my other channel, like people are there for inner work and relationship advice and certain things. And I would never want you guys to feel like I'm like showing off or anything like that. You guys know, like I started with poverty and like not very good situations in my life. And so all of the things that I have now are just like sparkly manifestations of my inner work, right? Like of the depth of my spiritual work, my inner work. And so I love these little sparkles and reminders and like the girly stuff. And I'll, sometimes I go on vacations and take footage and I'm like, oh, it's going to seem so, I don't know if people will appreciate it, but this channel I feel like is a great container for me to be able to put that kind of stuff. I always remember to look at what others have as a catalog for desires and things available. I love seeing other people's abundance to inspire me, not only money, things, energetic abundance as well. Yes, I know what you mean. And again, I do consider myself pretty minimalist. So even what I would show you, I think is, you can go to those haul channels and there's just an abundance of stuff. I'm not like that. That's just not, you guys know I'm more minimalist anyways. But the things that I do enjoy, like travel, we love experiences, travel, things like that. I want to share that with you. Absolutely. I want to share in your journey. I love to see what you guys are doing. I feel like I'm sharing it with you all. Okay, great. Yay. I'm excited. I would love content like that. If it's in your heart, then share it. I want to see Mina enjoying her wealth. Okay, good. I'm so glad. Because here's the thing. I feel like, okay, so when I used to watch like haul channels and unboxing channels, one of the things that I would be like, oh, I wish she would share, like, how did she get the stuff? Not out of like nosiness, but like, I want to hear the manifestation story. Like, I want to hear, like, to me, nothing brings me more joy to see a woman living her best life. Like even in movies, I more tend to watch movies where there's a happy woman, right? Like she's happily married or she's got nice things. That just lights me up, something about that. So when I watch women doing unboxings and they're having fun, I'm like, tell me the whole story, girl. Like, did someone buy this for you? Did your man get it for you? Did you buy it? Like, how did it come to? And I feel like I'm giving you guys the how did it come to, but then I'm sometimes scared to show you the thing. Does that make sense? But yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm going to definitely cash in my abundance on that and share it with you guys. A few weeks ago, I watched your vlog where Irfan bought you the Lexus. It was so fun to watch. Oh my God, I cried at the Lexus dealership. Did you know that they called us back? And I lost the footage of this. I'm going to see if they have it. So they did a whole party. They called us back. And I remember, oh my God, I cried like a little girl. So it's a huge Lexus dealership in Houston, right? They invited us over. We walk in. There's like hundreds of people there. I walk in and the director there says, everyone stop. The universe guru is here. And the cameras come out and they're freaking filming us. And I'm standing there going, is this happening to me? Like, is this my life? Like, I couldn't believe it. She's like, I watch all your videos and I love you. And it was just OMG. It was an experience. The reason that thing means so much to me is because I had bought my ex-husband a Lexus, which he then used to drive around the women that he cheated on me with. And so it had left such a bad taste in my mouth. And I love Lexus. That's just my favorite car. And then I wouldn't allow myself to buy the car because even when I was making the money and everything, like a part of me was like associated with that. So for my husband to take me to Lexus and like buy me the car the way that he did, the way that Lexus celebrated me, oh my God, if that is not a manifestation, like it's not even about the fucking car. You guys know, like I can buy 10 of those. It's not about the car. It's about alchemizing that thing that happened to me. It's about having a provider man that like can feel into what that means for me, for him to take me and buy me the car. It's for Lexus celebrating me that way. They tweeted about me and hashtagged me and shared it on their Facebook for weeks after the event because the director happened to be a subscriber. Like it was just the whole thing was just like, is this happening to me? And I would say that's cashing in my abundance. It's not about the money. Like I have used my pain, like my deepest pain, and I've shared it with you guys. And I have gotten thousands of women messaging me over the last 12 years saying, Mina, you prevented my suicide. You helped my relationship. You prevented my divorce. You helped me conceive a baby. You helped me get in touch with my femininity. So many women, right? If that is in abundance, what is, right? So if I say to God, I need this car, I want this piece of jewelry, I need this sparkly thing, why wouldn't the universe give it to me? Like that's literally cashing in my abundance. That's the energy of abundance to me. It's that I went through some shit and I alchemized it, and through my pain, other women were able to awaken into their power. That's it. Okay. Are you kidding? I can't wait to see, Mina. Look what I manifested because I saw you do it first. Thank you. Yes, it had to come full circle. There is something about that. And I know what you mean. It's so weird. And maybe if I had just gone and bought the car myself, it wouldn't have meant as much. Every time I drive that car, like that car is just, it's like embodied in love. I am manifesting new job opportunities. Yes. Maybe you're creating job opportunities for other people, right? It's like the whole thing, right? It's the whole thing. It's not essentially the money, the thing, but the energy and joy it brings that makes it so enjoyable to receive and to see it in others. Love it. Yes, I think you nailed it. That's it. Like the reason I like watching an unboxing is because I like seeing a woman's face light up, right? That same video that you guys are talking about, the Lexus video, did you notice that in the comments, men were writing that there was a guy that wrote, it brought tears of joy in my eyes to see you in so much joy. I don't know that guy. He's some random guy that happened upon that video. But we like seeing people happy. We like hearing a good old-fashioned success story. Like we want you to cash in your abundance. We want to see that happening. Okay. Hi, Mina, how do I overcome my fear of being raw and vulnerable on the internet and putting my business out there? My story is powerful, but I've had a tendency to overshare. Okay, so create a container around it. So here's the container that I've created for myself. I won't share anything I have made this mistake. I have done this in the past. This is the container where I'm in now. So just know that I have made this mistake, but I have decided not to share anything that's still raw. So what I mean by that is if I'm thinking of that story or talking about the thing and something is still moving in me, like there's still a charge, then it might not be the right time to share it because I haven't alchemized it yet, right? So after I've already transcended the thing, I've alchemized it, now the only use of that story isn't so it's buried and hidden away and no one gets to see the power of my alchemy, like it's hidden away, right? But the only usefulness of that thing is for me to bring it out and say, hey, this is what happened. This is what I did with it. And here I am now. Okay. And it doesn't have to be some grand big thing, right? And in the truth of the matter is, it's almost easier when you're smaller because you're more relatable, right? A lot of people that may find me in my journey now and they're like, and some people do, oh my God, if you read some of the comments on my other channel, some people write things like, well, isn't it so nice to be privileged? You should be careful talking what you're saying. You're happily married, you have money, blah, blah, blah. Who are you, right? Because they miss the story. They don't know they don't know about my sexual abuse. They don't know about my rape. Like they don't know about the conditions that I was raised in. All they're seeing is the after story now, the highlight reel. And they're like, well, you're coming from privilege. I'm not. I created my privilege. I created it. I alchemized myself into privilege so that when people see me now, all they see is privilege. They don't see the pain, right? So I almost have to bring it out of the box once in a while and say, hey, look, I wasn't always this way. This was my story. This is the stuff that happened to me. So it's almost easier for those of you guys that are in the middle of your journey to be like, hey, I'm not at the end yet, but in chapter 5, I did transcend chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And maybe you don't share the things that are happening in chapter 5 currently because you haven't alchemized them yet. And one of the reasons is because you don't know the full story, you don't know the full lessons. The second reason is you don't want to re-traumatize the body. Okay, this is an actual thing. So you don't think that you have to be at the end of the journey. I think that there is a disadvantage sometimes when you're at the end, right? Because people are like, well, here's Miss Perfect. How can I relate to that? Right? And then you do have to recount the stories and remind people. But I think the time to start is now, but have a container. What is too raw right now? Because maybe I haven't really alchemized it yet. And maybe that one I'm going to park away because I don't even know the full lessons of that. But what are the things that I'm like fully like I'm grounded in, I'm done with, like I've alchemized those things, right? I truly believe that, Cece. I believe you create your privilege. Here's why. I have cousins and friends that were truly born in privilege. They had the perfect childhood. They had the perfect looks. They had parents that literally handed them chunks of money. Okay. And then they did nothing. Nothing. It's like you can kiss a frog and make him into a prince, or you can take a prince and turn it into a frog. So these people took their privilege and they like ripped it up into pieces and threw it in the garbage. So that's what it made me realize. Like when I was watching this, I'm like, well, I guess privilege doesn't always work, does it? In fact, sometimes it sets you back. One of do I have any Indian or Pakistani people watching right now? And I know, and you're watching, right? Shah Rukh Khan, one of the greatest Bollywood stars, ever, right? I love the guy. His story is so inspiring, right? Made himself something out of nothing. And Irfan was telling me the other day, I mean, I almost had like a crying fit. I felt emotional hearing this. So Irfan was telling me the other day, he's like, oh, did you hear about Shah Rukh Khan's son? And I'm like, no, what, right? This is a Bollywood star that I admire and I adore. Said what? He said he got caught doing drugs on some. I'm like, no, you can't be Shah Rukh Khan's son and be born into such amazing privilege. People worship your dad in your country, and even in the United States. Shah Rukh Khan can't walk the streets without people following him, right? He can't go anywhere in the world without being recognized. Born into money, born into privilege. His wife, the kid's mother, Bollywood producer, and you're what, right? So you can take privilege and you can rip that shit out and you can throw it in the trash. Okay? Or you can have nothing and you can have no privilege and you can alchemize that and you can create your own privilege. My heart sank when I heard that. Hi, Aksa. Okay, another Pakistani here. Did you guys heard about, like, so privilege is overrated sometimes, okay, babe? Like, I know there was a whole thing going on YouTube about pretty privilege. Privilege is overrated, okay? Let's talk about another little bit of privilege. So I think, Megan Fox is one of the most beautiful women ever, and I think she's been crowned one of the most beautiful women. I did not know her story. I didn't know anything about her. And so we watched a movie and she was in there and I'm like, oh my God, she actually inspired me to go back to my natural hair color. Okay, I'm just going to tell you the full story. So we're watching a movie and Megan Fox shows up and I think she's just so gorgeous and hot. And my oldest son goes, oh my God, Mom, she looks like you. And I nearly fell off the couch. And I'm like, I knew you were my favorite, right? Joking, but I'm like, what? My son said I look like Megan Fox. Okay. So that prompted me to to search for her on YouTube because he made that comment. And I realized that she eats a similar diet to what. So I'm like Googling stuff about her. And then I look at her story and the man she's now dating. And like, I have all kinds of opinions about that. And he's younger and just like, and I'm like so underwhelmed by the whole unfolding of the story. And then I'm just like, oh my God, like when I'm looking at her and her pretty privilege, I had an image of my mind of a certain life. And what I saw based on my own expectations and my own judgments was not that. So I'm not picking on, Megan Fox or anything, but the point is that you can take any situation, any privilege and ruin it and do nothing with it because you don't know the art of alchemy. You only know how to destruct and destroy. Or you can take nothing, sand. You can take sand and you can turn it into gold. And those are the stories that we love anyways. The stories where someone was handed something and they ruined it, that brings us pain. It brings us pain. I was sad to see and hear some of the things that I saw when I was Googling this stuff. I was sad to hear about Shah Rukh Khan's son because it's like you had the privileges. You had it handed to you. Okay. So you have to understand that privilege is a mindset. It's a mindset. Okay. Yes, I see a lot of women who are considered the most beautiful are dating dusties and broke men. Just the situations where you're like, huh? What? Right? So privilege is really a mindset, babe. It's a mindset. This is so random. Have you thought about creating a course on how to raise your children to stand out? Like how you stand about yours? I already have that course. I created it years ago. It's part of the Self-Aware Barbie Activated Bundle. And you can actually buy it separately as well. It's called the High Value Parenting Course. I literally have a course about everything because, yeah, that's what I do. I alchemize everything. Okay, because there's always one person out there that can use that advice. And if I've helped one person out there with that advice, alchemized it. Check. Right? So privilege is a mindset. Some people are privileged and they don't know. They don't know how to cash it in. So you currently have privileges that other people don't have. And you may be totally overlooking them, just like someone said she has body dysmorphia. That means she doesn't know she has pretty privilege with me, so now I'm asking you, does she have it then? If she can't see it, if she doesn't know it, does she really have it? Does she? Right? So it's a mindset. Create your own privilege. Cash it in. Find the things in which you are privileged in. Because I'm telling you, if you live in any Western culture, like you're already so much more privileged than a lot of the world. Right? You're already so privileged. If you have even a 12th grade education, you're so much more privileged than the rest of the world. If you have access to the internet, you're so much more privileged. If you have 3 meals and a roof, you're already so privileged. We all have privilege. Some people just know how to cash it in better. Okay. Let me tell you the biggest secret to raising conscious kids. It's being conscious yourself, because they don't care what you say. They watch your behavior. They watch how you live. That's me, privileged and an overcomer. And I don't know how to cash it in. Okay, so if you did know, what would you know? So do this technique. Put a 15-minute timer on your phone. It's the stream of consciousness technique. Get in your journal and say, if I did know how to cash in my abundance, if I did know how to cash in my privilege, what would I know? Okay. And even if nothing comes up, don't lift your pen for 15 minutes. Keep writing, keep writing. It's always the last 2 to 3 minutes that get the most like potent downloads. All right. Love your jewelry, Mina. Where is it from? So I am obsessed with Cartier and Van Cleef jewelry. So my necklace and my earrings and this bracelet is Van Cleef. I always feel awkward. I don't know why I'm talking about the jewelry and stuff, but those are like my two favorite brands. So if you did know, what would you know? And let your subconscious reveal it to you. Because there's a part of you that knows. Yes, just walking in the grocery store is privilege. Absolutely. Absolutely. Having a refrigerator, if you look at the history of humanity, that's privileged. We had to send like 4 to 5 men hunt the most alpha of our men out there to hunt for 3 days to eat. We didn't know if they were going to come back. So having a refrigerator, extreme privilege. But most people with refrigerators don't know it. They don't know that they're privileged simply because they have a refrigerator. So anytime I see those videos on YouTube with the whole pretty privilege and this privilege, I'm just like, my God, people have lost it. They're talking, these are the wrong things to talk about. Because that's counting your excuses. It's not cashing in your abundance. And we all have the option of counting our excuses, but you can't take excuses to the bank and cash it in, but you can take abundance there. No one wants to sit with you on YouTube and hear your excuses and buy anything from you. They don't. That kind of misery doesn't want to create anything. It just wants more misery, right? So yeah, I can count my excuses. The sales page that I wrote for the Rich Girl Manifestation Bundle, pull it up right now. Look what I wrote on there. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. By the way, guys, ladies, this is only active until Saturday. So if this is calling out to you, now is the time. Okay, I don't know how I posted it, didn't open. Okay, so I said, I had the right to be a victim. I have all those. I recognize that I have the right to be a victim. I do. Like, you guys know my story, if I told you guys, you know what, this is why I wasn't successful, I don't think any of you would have been like, well, you should have done it despite that. Like, I have legit excuses. But like, that doesn't get me paid. It doesn't get me laid. It doesn't get me a husband. It doesn't get me my kids. It doesn't get me anything. It gets me more misery, right? I don't know where the paid and laid thing came, but you get the vibe, right? It's like I can play victim and people will be like, yeah, nice victim. But like, what does that get me? I know what I need to create to alchemize, but I just simply don't want to put the effort in. I'm dragging my feet and I'm mad at myself. So if it got to be fun, what would that look like for you? What if it was so easy that you could literally do it laying down from your bed? What would that look like? Because there's a part blocking you. And we need to have a conversation with that part. So there's a part that shows up in me, and this is literally a psychotherapy technique. So this is like advanced level work. And I had a conversation with this part, and I asked this part, how old do you think I am? And the part said, you're 7. And I said, babe, I'm 40, about to turn 41. And the part said, oh, this is the work of Richard Schwartz, by the way. It's life-changing work. And I had to just say, well, I'm 40. So like, you can back off. You don't have to say these mean things to me when I'm trying to do this, because I'm actually 40. And the part said, oh my God, I feel relieved. It's been exhausting protecting you because I thought you were 7. So we all have these parts. Yes, plenty of women wonder how I get so many dates, being that my body is imperfect and bigger. I use what I have and keep my standards held high. Exactly, because there's plenty of women out there with the perfect bodies, and then they're like providing for men, right? So it's like, trust me, like it's what the value that you give yourself is the value that other people see. That's what they see. That's what they hear. That's what they smell. That's what they feel. So absolutely, you create your own privilege. That's why I say, if you listen to other people, if you ask other people for advice, you double up, triple up on limiting beliefs. You really do, because the world is just a walking box of limiting beliefs and excuses of why you can't do it. But you have to do it anyways. You decide what you get to do. You decide. Like when I decide, my husband was actually saying this today. He's like, when you make a decision, he's like, you just do it. I'm like, thank you for saying that. I do. When I decide, like, there is nothing that can stop me, and I will make it fun. I'm constantly asking myself, this is fun. Can I make it funner? How can I make this funner? How can I make this easier? What will it take? What do I need to tweak? What do I need to glamorize? We add a little lipstick to this? Like, that's what women do. We beautify. We beautify everything. We glam it up, right? Alina has this, is it the bedazzler thing? It's this gun thing. And she just walks around like bedazzling everything. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I think it's called a bedazzler. And she'll just come and she's like, Mom, I bedazzled. She took this little box just yesterday. She was like, you know how you have all your hairpins in your makeup drawer? I'm like, uh-huh. She's always organizing my makeup drawers. She goes, I put them all in this little box and I bedazzled it for you, right? That's what women do. That's the divine feminine. So bedazzle the thing, glam it up. Make it fun. My niece's life hangs in the balance every day. So every day I wake up in a healthy body. I'm in complete bliss. And I can't wait to see what's God going to do today. Yes. We all woke up today in a healthy body. God bless, right? Like that's a good day. That's a fantastic day. Sending happy and healthy energy to your knees. Bedazzler. Yes, I think that's what it's called. It's one of those gun things that you like. You can do it in your hair. She's bedazzling her hair all the time. Like that's what the divine feminine does. So bedazzle that thing. Like, how can you make it fun? How can you make it exciting? How do I get to make this easy? So true. Abundance is the opposite of scarcity. With everything, I always remind myself to keep a positive mood and solutions come to me with less stress, because now you're in creation energy, you're listening. The signs are always there. We said that in the beginning. The signs are always there. It's literally about us listening to them or not. Like, are you tapped in? Are you tuned in? Hi, Mina. Thank you for this. I want to start my own business and bring in more abundance for myself and my family, but something has been stopping me for years. I want to make it fun. So decide that whatever is stopping you cannot stop you anymore. That's it. It's a part. It's a protective part. And there is a reason that it's trying to protect you. I'm going to show you guys the book. Hold on. This is literally a thing. This is like a huge psychotherapy thing. It's not the easiest work. It's something that my EDMR therapist has tuned me in, and I'm like extensively studying it right now. It's called internal family system. Like this is actually there's an internal family in your head that is stopping you because it thinks it's protecting you. This is like my next PhD that I'm getting right now. So this is actually a thing, right? I've already been using something similar to this in my coaching practice, but this is going to take it to a whole new level because we can now identify the many different parts. So the way that I coach, we identify her. I talk about her. Remember, those of you guys that have done sessions with me, you know her. Her is a very important part of us. That is the inner child that blocks a lot of things out of fear, out of trying to keep you safe. Well, this system says there's more parts. There's way more parts. And so you are in control, though. Your true self is in control. Okay. So you can be aware of that part. Every day that I decide that I'm going to go live or I'm going to post this, there's always a part saying, no, you shouldn't do that. Your hair doesn't look good today, or this isn't today, or they're going to think you're posting too much, or you haven't posted. And I'm like, yes, you're right. Come over here. I love you. Come on, come here. Remember, I'm 40. Oh, yes, you're 40. I'm okay. I can post today. You have to see it, let it be there, Accept it and do the thing anyways, because you are the grown-up in control. You are the grown-up in control. Okay. My go-to is to get daunted and afraid rather than to make it fun. So are you ready to break that pattern or not? So that's the question then. Like, how long will that be your excuse? Because beyond that excuse is you cashing in your abundance. So like, are you going to wait until it gets really bad? Or are you like, I'm ready for the money now. I'm ready for the impact now. I'm ready for the impact now, impact, income, like all of the stuff, right? Or it's like, I'm going to waste another 5 years saying I'm not ready, right? So when you have the self-awareness, that's it. Like, it gets to end now. Okay, it gets to end now. But you have the grown-up self version of you needs to make that decision today. You have to do it. Okay. So the only difference between you and the people further in the journey is that they've been deciding, they've been doing it. Oh yeah, let me go find. I have so many. I have to like find one of my oracle decks. Hold on, can you guys see this from here? I don't know. I can't decide which one to bring. Okay, I'm gonna get my favorite one. I have way too many oracle decks. I have a whole collection. I actually had to, Ron bought me like a whole thing just for my oracle collection thing. This is one of the things that I was talking to you guys in my other video, that men they find things that are more feminine, way more intelligent in a woman. Like, I can sit there and debate physics with Irfan, and he's going to see that as like, oh, okay. Or I can pull out my oracle cards and be like, hey, should I do a reading on you? And you should see him light up, because I'm bringing something different to the table that he doesn't have access to, right? So he loves this stuff. So this is my favorite. It's, this isn't typically the most positive. It's more like awakening. Okay. I mean, it is kind of positive, but it's going to tell you the things that are really deep. So let's do it. Sacred Rebels. We're doing it. We're doing the thing. Okay. All right. So I don't know about you guys, but I always do one card. It's very rare for me to do 2 or 3, only if they jump out at me and they're like insisting that I read them. Oh, I have the Mystical Shaman deck too, I think. Okay, let's see. I'm going to wait until something jumps. Okay, this one is it. I see you, girl. Okay, so this is a collective one. Ooh, I think this matches. Okay. It says shock of the new. Shock of the new. So when you look at this picture and you hear those words, what does that mean to you? Before I open the book and read into that. But I don't know, I feel like collectively, it's, oh my goodness, like she's got flowers coming out of her head. She's got a piano. She's got like, it's like creation energy. Like, look at it. It's like creating something new. And we're talking about rich girl manifestation and starting businesses. This deck is like on a whole different level. This is my favorite deck. This deck loves me. So aligned, right? Okay, so there's that, and I'll read it to you guys. Usually it's like really long, so let me see. I don't know if you guys want me to read the whole thing. It's a little weird. Okay, here's the thing. It says, what wild, unconventional voice is calling to you? Can you hear it? It is so different and so unusual, it might be hard to decipher, like hearing an unfamiliar language for the first time. It might be hard to discern with great clarity now, but there is affirmity between you and this strangely beautiful newness seeking to manifest. Oh my God. This oracle says there is a stirring at the deepest level within you. Something new will break through, and the process of this birth may be a shock to you. The shock will transform into great joy and a sense of tremendous liberation, but you must bear the strangeness first. That strangeness might be something that rattles your beliefs about yourself and your world, daring you to become more of yourself, more open to where life is leading you, and more willing to be the unique sacred art being crafted by the hand of the universal creator. Oh my God, I love it. That was a good one. Sometimes this deck kicks my butt. So that's why I said it's not always positive. But this one is really good. I love it. You live within her field of great creative grace. You live within her field of creative grace as a specially created work that also creates. Oh, that's a whole vibe. I love it. I'm going to have to read that again. You live within her field of creative grace as a specially created work that also creates. Oh my God. That's the divine feminine. We are a work of art that's created in divine grace, and we also create. Creation is our birthright. Like, that's what we're here to do. I love it. I was so meant to see this live and hear this message. Beautiful. Yes. We needed this reading. Yes. Yes. I have been manifesting a lot faster. I've manifested a whole new life with everything I want. I can't believe I'm starting the career I want and the money I want. Yes, man. Amen. And so it is. It's done. It's done. Yes. I feel this card a lot. Let me see. Oops, I lost the... I feel this card a lot. Starting the High Value Worthy Woman course, I feel the shock, tiny overwhelm of starting my inner work and seeing all the beautiful things unfolding. Beautiful. Babe, that work is potent. I still do that inner work all the time. That stuff is real. Ready to be shocked in a good way. That is scary accurate for me. I am in the process of integrating music into my business, and I love, love, love flowers. That is so interesting. And those are sunflowers, right? That was my mom's favorite flower. I just love it. And I love that like little divine, like it's like divine guidance, right? Like in CEO, I have a CEO Boss Queen. I have a whole training on let God do the heavy lifting. Like we're not meant to like carry the thing. We're not meant to like carry the clients or the students. Like God is doing all of that, right? And that reminds me of that. Let God do the heavy lifting for you. Yeah. I love it. So good, right? Yeah, this is like my go-to. Even though I have a lot of other decks and I don't want any of the decks to be mad. I have a whole bunch. I love them. I love it here. Let's do more of these. Okay, yeah, we can definitely do more readings. I don't know why. I go through these phases where I'm like really open about my spirituality and then I'm hiding it. I'm like, that's one of my parts. But yes, I think, you know what? Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. Let's like just fully unleash it, right? Like go next level. I had a huge release this Hunter's Moon, and just like new, bigger, better me is definitely shining through. I've been feeling called to step into my creativity and create. Yes. This is my first live, Mina. I love you so much. I love you too, Didi. Thank you. You live within her field of creative grace that speaks of allowing. Yes. And I love that part about like, we're created in her grace and then we're also here to create. It's like paying it forward. It just feels so good. Yes. God always gives you far more than you ask. Yes. And I think the number one thing, Justine, is that we forget to ask. We like step in and start doing, but we forget to ask. We forget to ask. That's it. Ladies, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I have this offer. This is a bundle that I've never created before. It's a brand new bundle. It's called Rich Girl Manifestation Bundle. I'm going to do I'm doing 3 new live Q&As, 90 minutes in this bundle. There's 6 courses in like every topic of manifestation and spiritual entrepreneur, how to start a business, how to take it to the next level. And the thing I love about it is that there's something for every stage. Like if you don't know where to start, there's something in it for you. If you're like, I'm making 40,000 and I want to make 50, there's something for you. If you're like, I'm making 100,000 and I want to make 200,000 a month, there's something for every level in there. So once you get this and you're at one level, it'll take you to the next level, then your next level. So it's not like you have to buy something more to be at a different level. Does that make sense? Hi, Anna. Yes. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the lovely, that was so fun. Like I'm on this channel, I'll definitely be doing more of that. That was fun. Thank you, ladies. I will catch you in the next one. The link for the Rich Girl Manifestation Bundle is below. It expires Saturday. Take advantage of $17.77 off. If you have any of those 6 courses, email my team at theuniverseguru@gmail.com and they will deduct what you've already paid and create a new bundle for you. All right, ladies. I love you so much. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.